Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and today is Wednesday, so of course, happy Wednesday. It's halfway through the week. Second, if you're excited, like I am, because it's the 15th, you might be a Warframe player. We're gonna go get the new Mushroom Frame today, which is actually kind of cool. Um, what's also cool is today's deck list. So today's deck is going to have two turned around cards because I just fell short of actual numbers today. It's a 42 card main deck, and this is a viewer request. They wanted to see, since number one, it's Spooktober, and two, because Genesys format's still so new, could we build something with the Shiranui? Now, I don't think I immediately responded to this text, and it was mostly because I wanted to make sure that I had the cards ready first, and then I responded later. And I'm happy to say that, yeah, we had most of it, and we had enough to at least show you one copy of everything. So we're going to go ahead and give you guys a 42 card main deck with a 15 card side deck. So first thing you're going to need to know about some of the Shiranuis is, one, they get an effect normally, and then two, as I straighten that up a little bit, they tend to get an effect if they get banished, or if the synthesis, what the heck is their field spell called again? It is the Shiranui style synthesis. So if that happens to be on board, sometimes they get more effect. So knowing that, let's go. First card, probably the only one of I run in the main deck, is the Shiranui Smith. And again, I think he's a good card. I think he could be a little bit better, but he's a good card. 4-star, 1,000 points. Also, they all have 0 defense. That's kind of a big deal with them too. If this is sent from the field to the graveyard as synchro material, you can add a Shiranui card from the deck to the hand. It just has to be a different name. You get to use this effect once per turn. Additionally, if this card would be banished, you can activate the following effect: that this turn zombie types that you control cannot be destroyed by battle. So he's very tech, he's kind of splashable, but he's not super necessary the way that I play. If you don't have any of the other cards that I'm missing though, or you're missing some of the rest of the package from this deck, feel free to go ahead and substitute another one of him in, because it's never going to be a miss when you play with this card. So that's said. Next up, we're going to want 2 copies of Spectral Sword. Spectral Sword is one of the 2 tuners that we've chosen to use today. If this guy's in the graveyard, except the turn he's sent there, he can kind of bite off the effect from the Blackwing. Oh man, I'm going to forget the little trench coat bird. Does not matter. Not Zephyros. My wife is going to kick my butt, guys. It doesn't matter value. It's value's effect. Target a non-tuner zombie in the graveyard, banish that and this, and if you do, special summon 1 zombie synchro monster from the extra deck whose total star level is equal. I do believe that if this had reminder text, this would be considered a synchro summon. It may not be. So be wary, that might not allow you to do the craziest stuff. But it does get another summon basically from nowhere, which is very cool. We're also going to use 2 copies of the retrained variant, where it is Spectral Sword Shade. We get an extra star level. We retain the tuner typing, get a little bit stronger at 800. We can choose to tribute this card, target 2 of our banished zombie monsters with a different name, including one of them being a Shiranui, and this is a nod to the fact that it's very splashable in other zombie builds. Special summon those cards in defense position, negate their effects, and you cannot special summon anything for the rest of the turn except zombies, which is a totally fair trade-off. Each effect is a once per turn, so that's not bad. Next dude is going to be one of the most well-known. Shiranui Solitaire was the first of the Shiranui to break out and go into other decks as far as zombie builds. The way it works, you contribute a zombie monster, and it can be self, to special summon 1 zombie tuner with 0 defense from the deck, which is relevant in other builds as well. If this card is banished, you can target one of your banished Shiranui with a different name, or up to 2 instead if the style synthesis is on the field. Special summon the card or cards, each effect once per turn. So again, in-house, when you're playing a fun, more thematic build, you get more mileage out of Solitaire, but that's not to say that Solitaire is a bad card ever. Just the way that works. Next up, Spirit Master. Another great 4-star, 1,500 this time. When is normal summon, you can special summon one Shiranui from the hand or graveyard with a different name. Banish it when it leaves the field. And again, banishing lets us get effects. If this card is banished itself, you could target one face-up card the opponent controls, destroy that card. This effect is once per turn. Again, because we could juggle it, we could banish more than one in a turn. They do want to put some limits on it. Next up, last of the Shiranui monsters is the Squire. And again, we're going to play this at playset. She's got 1,500 points. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a Shiranui Spectral Sword monster. Now stop. Spectral Sword being in quotes, and then also with the text monster afterward. I need a judge ruling. Okay, I should have looked this up beforehand. When I was playing it, I really was only going for the 2-star. But can I go for the 3-star, guys? Is this like saying like Dark Magician Monster and then I can get Dark Magician Girl? Let me know in the comments. Whatever the correct answer is, I will pin that as the top comment of this video. So please and thank you. Just in advance. Remainder of the effect, you're not special summoned for the rest of the turn with except zombies after you do that. If this card is banished, you can draw one card, then discard one card. Each effect is once per turn. So again, good card. Next up, we're going to take some tech zombies. We're going to go ahead and grab 2 Gozuki. Gozuki, during the main phase, you could send 1 zombie from deck to discard. Then if this guy happens to be sent to the graveyard, you can banish him plus 1 other zombie with a different name to special summon 1 zombie from your hand. Each of these effects is a once per turn. And again, it's like having Foolish Burial on tap. You could just do this once per turn. Pairs off perfectly with what I would consider to be his brother, Mizuki. And Mizuki's effect is you can banish it while it's in the graveyard to target a zombie in the graveyard to special summon that target. Again, lets us reboard some cards, especially once we start dealing with some of the larger synchros. Moving to hand traps, we're keeping it into the zombie theme with the Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom, again, just a very good, generically interactive card. Targets against most decks in the format, most formats that it's legal in, and is just all around a good card. So again, you would be remiss not to be playing it. But again, since we are going to start touching our points, these ones are a little expensive. They're just a little expensive. Next up, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Again, you guys understand how well this interacts with things. Again, we kind of left our little happy space of zombies. This is the only non-zombie in the main deck. But for a good reason, she's got a killer effect, so we play it. Let's move to spells, shall we? Leading the spells off, 3 Books of Life, because Monster Reborn's a little costly, and this lets us mess with the opponent's graveyard a little bit. So, if you've just now seen Book of Life for the first time, here's what it does. You target one of your dead zombies, and you target one of your opponent's dead monsters in their graveyard. You summon yours and banish theirs. It's a very easy transaction. Very upsetting if you're on the wrong end of it. And it's good because it didn't cost us any points in this format. Next up, Foolish Burial, only 1. This one's actually pretty expensive, and again, it's gonna help us start off a lot of plays, especially loading in the Mizuki, being like one of the big plays, or just giving somebody a dance partner, giving Shade a dance partner for the banish to go ahead and start doing his job. First card I didn't have 2 copies of is Ghost Meets Girl, a Shiranui's Story. Thought I had 2 copies, but I did have the 1, so we went ahead. We're going to count it. How it works. If your opponent controls a monster, discard a zombie monster. Special summon 1 Shiranui with a different name from your deck or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters except zombie monsters for the rest of the turn after this card resolves. You can only activate 1 copy of this per turn, and generally speaking, I use this as a defensive measure during my opponent's turn because it is a quick play spell. I find that being able to offset the timing with the negative portion of the effect allows me to go ahead and use this a little easier, or when I need to progress into stuff. This also allows us to bring back big synchros because the graveyard is an option. So keep that in mind. Next card that's really great in this deck, Gold Sarcophagus really sets fire to this deck because we get to banish the card. Now, yes, it's going to be a banished face up. The opponent's going to know what we're going to get in 2 turns. There's not too many ways to interact with the Gold Sarcophagus unless you could just straight up negate it. The best part is just like going into Spirit Master or that one Smith because you know that you need protection during the battle phase or something. And just, I'm going to go Sark. I'm going to get my effect real quick, and then we're going to worry about what happens next. It's just good. Um, a card that my tongue does not want to move to pronounce correctly is the Shiranui style Solemnity. I keep adding extra vowels and consonants. I'm not 100% how to pronounce it, but I'll tell you this. The card's name does become Shiranui style Synthesis while it's on the field. And once per turn, you can activate one of its following effects. You can either banish a zombie from your graveyard, the normal and special summons of your, the rest of your zombie monsters for the rest of the turn cannot be negated. Fantastic. Love entry protection. Or, effect number 2, target a zombie that you control, banish it, then send one zombie with 0 defense from the deck to the graveyard. And again, this could lend itself to being used in more than just a Shiranui deck, since there are more zombies that have 0 defense. So again, it's pretty cool. We are going to kick it old school. We are going to use the Shiranui style Synthesis. We're going to grab 2 copies. This is a field spell, so it's we're not going to use terraforming or anything. That's why we're using so many things that count as synthesis. The effects here are actually pretty good, though. Once per turn, if you control no monsters, you can send 1 card from the hand to the graveyard to activate one of the following effects. You can either target 1 zombie in the graveyard with 0 defense and special summon it, or target a banished zombie type with 0 defense and return it to the graveyard, which at that point you can use the Book of Life to summon it. So again, fantastic card, gets results. Moving to traps. We're going to use 2 copies of the Samsara. And the Samsara is going to simply, become Synthesis. Once per turn, activate one of the following effects. Banish a face-up zombie type that you control. You'll take no battle damage for the remainder of the turn, even if this card leaves the field. Or target 2 of your banished zombies with 0 defense. Shuffle them both into the deck to draw 1 card. Because recurring your cards can be very, 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 very useful, especially because there are ways to search out base shade. And again, this allows us to get the play them once, get the play the second turn, then send them back into the deck so we could search them out and try again another turn. Fantastic stuff. Next one up, 2 copies of the style Success. Special summon a zombie from your hand, banish it when it leaves the field. Again, this is just a play extension that goes into giving you the effect afterward. Let's see. Banish this card from the graveyard. Target a zombie you control. That zombie is unaffected by card effects this turn except its own. One effect per turn and only once that turn. And that's because it's actually pretty darn good. And yeah, that's enough said on that. Last trap in the deck. Shiranui style Swallow Slash. Run 3 copies here. I used to joke that this was the Icarus attack of zombies, much like, oh man, I don't even remember the one for reptiles right now. I was going to say Snake Rain, but I'm pretty sure that's actually a spell card. Shiranui style Swallow Slash allows you to tribute a zombie, target 2 cards on the field, destroy them, banish 1 Shiranui from your deck afterward, activate 1 of these per turn. So again, Icarus attack plus I banish something to go into the effect. And if I go into, like, again, what's her name? My Squire. That's going to be, I'm going to draw the card off of, draw the card and drop the card afterwards. So again, I get to, like, readjust my hand, which is nice. Last card, and I didn't want to do this in the normal portion of the spells because I kind of wanted you guys to go. That was 41 cards. What did you said 42? Double or nothing, guys. You know Utopia is going to be in here. There are so many 4 stars in here, and a ton of ways for you to get multiple 4 stars on the board in the same turn, that I would be remiss if I didn't give you the optional 1 punch that might allow you to just win the game. So there you have it. There's our main deck. Again, the only card that we had to, like, turn around to proxy for was a second copy of the Ghost Meets Girl, Shiranui story. This is a good deck for the base, especially if you're looking to just play with the archetype and have some fun. Guys, take a moment, make your notes, screenshot, pause, whatever you guys got to do. I'll be back with the extra deck in just a moment. All right, let's start with our synchros. Now, I'm playing 8 synchros. They are all Shiranui. And again, this is because I've leaned into the casual side of this deck. And I have decided to play as much of the archetype as possible. So I didn't make enough room for smaller cards, so there's not going to be a Sword Saga in this deck. Instead, everything's going to be in twos. So 2 Samurai Saga. So zombie type tuner, non-tuner zombie types. Once per turn, either player's turn, target one of your banished zombie type monsters, shuffle it into the deck. If you do, change to defense all monsters your opponent currently in control with attack less than or equal to that monster's. If this card is banished, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 500 attack. It's not till the end of the turn that's permanent. You can only special summon these once per turn. And that's actually a Shiranui synchro standard. Any one of them can only be special summoned once per turn. And that is regardless of whether it's an actual synchro or if it's some sort of like Monster Reborn, Call of the Haunted, or like Book of Life. So I'm not going to read that part every time if I can avoid it. This is our 6-star. Next, we've got our 8-star. 8 stars is our Shogun Saga. Again, zombie type tuner, non-tuner zombies, 3k. When special summoned, banish 1 zombie type from grave. This card gains attack equal to the banished monster's original attack until the end of the turn. If it's on the field and destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, target one of your banished zombies with 0 defense, return it to the graveyard, and then, like I said, the effect they all share. On 7, we've got 2 of the Squire Sagas. This one is cool because this is the only generic one. She does not require it to be any type of specific tuner, non-tuner. She just wants you to get to 7 stars, 2,100 points. Only special summon these once per turn. They changed it up. They put it at the beginning of her effect. Once per turn, you can banish a face-up monster you control or that's in your graveyard, then apply the following effects in a sequence, depending on what it was before it was banished, if the card was any of these. So if it was a zombie, then you can have all monsters you control gain 300 attack. This is permanent. If it was also a fire or a fire, then after you check to see if it was a zombie, you'll check to see if it's a fire. And if it is, you can destroy a spell trap on the field. And if it's also a synchro, you can also choose to destroy a monster on the field. And I do love that effects 2 and 3 are you cans and not that you must. So that it's like if you don't want to break your own board, you don't have to. Squire Saga, probably one of the better ones. The other card I'm missing is a copy of the Sun Saga. Again, I would run this at 2. Sun Saga is much larger. Let's count it up, okay? So there's 3, there's 6. That means this is a 10. 10 stars, not super hard to get to in this deck, honestly, considering. The effect is, of course, zombie type tuner and 1 or more non-tuner zombie types. Again, once per turn only. If it's special summoned, you can return any number of zombie type synchro monsters that are banished and or in the graveyard to the extra deck. Then you can destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number of cards returned. If a zombie monsters you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish 1 Shiranui from your graveyard instead. And again, I'm surprised I just didn't have an extra one, since that was like a Megatin, I don't want to say promo, but like a regular rare out of a Megatin back in the day. So like, I feel like I do have it somewhere, and I just haven't made it through all my bulk yet. So it is what it is. Those are my 8 synchros. So again, no points in the extra deck, 93 points in the main deck. Let's get the Xyz out of the way. First Xyz, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. Again, your opponent's ahead of you. They got more card advantage. Go ahead and detonate the field during either your own main phase or their battle phase. And then your opponent just doesn't take any damage that turn from that point on. Because again, it is a pretty nuke bomb effect. The next package is pretty easy to understand. It goes Utopia, Double, and Lightning. And the reason it's 1-1-1 is because of the way this is played. So if I wanted to, and I had the space, I could have doubled up. What you would then do is you'd add another Utopia, and you would add S39 Hope or something like that. And the way that it works is you want to go to double, pitch material, get your double or nothing. Then it immediately shifts into Utopia, so it's still got the 2 materials underneath. Now, Utopia would be double to the stats because it came off double, so it'd be a 5k. You'd block your own attack, activate the spell, which is a quick play, you would get another attack and you double the stat over again. It would go up to 10k. This is where I get the whole one punch and or the one slash as I usually call it. And again, as long as you hit something that's like 2,000 points or less attack, that's 8,000 or more damage, which is generally game. But if you drew into your double or nothing, you could just as easily go from Utopia to Lightning, and then Lightning has its effects where we'll skip the first portion where it doesn't matter. Once per chain during damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster while this card has a Utopia Xyz monster as material, you may detach 2 materials from this card. This card's attack becomes 5,000 during the damage calculation only. Okay. But this is the one where they can't activate stuff. Yeah, if this card battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. So it activates very similar to an Ancient Gear monster. And then additionally can double himself up to 5,000. So again, he's really good at clearing the board. And it's really a matter of, did I draw my card on accident before I needed it? And if so, do I give myself another out? Which we did. Other cards I'm playing a number 101 Silent Honor Arc because I want to bring this thing back. I think this is a really cool card. You can detach 2 materials from this card, then target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls in face of attack position attached to this card as material. It's just good at getting things off the field. I probably actually should have checked to see if he was on the list. And I can real quick. Just give me half a second. Alright, quick search to the official website with a Control F and typing in his name. He's not on the list anywhere, so I got lucky, which is fine. But of course, again, we can absorb our opponent's monsters, and then if this face-up card will be destroyed by battle or card effect, we can detach material from it instead. So it'll still go ahead and like live past that one first turn. This card really does tie in very well with other cards that we were priced out of because the way we built our main. This works very well with Zeus, the Divine Arsenal. This also works really well with Typhon, the Sky Crisis, or Sky Star Slayer, something like that. Typhon. Next up, I'm using Steel Swarm Roach because I think he's funny. And again, like this is a card like we don't talk about anymore. Setting 2 level 4s, and during either player's turn, whenever a level 5 or higher would be special summoned, we can detach material from this card to negate the special summon and then destroy the card. I'm not sure, but like since everything except the Xyz are going to have levels again because there's no links, I feel like high level special summoning is going to come back, and like Roach might actually see some good play. And I'm hoping that you guys like take that forward, even if it is just as like a precursory thought. Just, you know, check it out, see what happens. And then again, back rows. I didn't really bring anything for the back row, so I had to use my last spot here. I grabbed a Tornado Dragon because again, it's a double MST. 2 level 4s. Once per turn, you can pitch material, destroy a spell trap. It's a quick effect, so we can do them during the opponent's turn too. So. Again, double MST on this one. And that's it. That's Shiranui. That's Shiranui in Genesys for 93 points. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. If you have, consider supporting the channel. It's as easy as like, comment, sub. You can donate with the Buy Me a Coffee. You don't have to because honestly, you're already watching the stuff, which is the best way to support the channel in the first place. I want you guys to go out and have a lovely day. I want you guys to get all psyched up for the rest of the week. Just to give you a heads up, I'm skipping our throwback stuff this week. We're going to take a week off of that. I want to make sure that all my cards come in for the one that I'm actually keeping from the format before we move on from like the serious decks in it. I might build like 1 or 2 because I did say I wanted to build like a Magnet Warrior deck. And I do think that's going to take me another week of playtesting before I feel like that's right. And I'm definitely going to end on a Relinquish deck. Like, the Relinquish deck is the one I'm keeping from that format. I think it's just going to be great. And that's that. So, I've got a loot report coming tomorrow instead. We may or may not do the Friday night fight. We are still discussing which format we want to do, because I did lose the draft one, which is fine. You'll have that. And then Saturday and Sunday, I have another Dark Necrofear speed duel deck, as well as the Duke Devlin speed duel deck, and I'd like to show you guys both of those this weekend. So for now, have a wonderful day. Keep being nice to yourselves. Keep being nice to everybody around you. See you next time. Later.